Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Book Time with Elvis, with me, Mark. And for this live, I'm joined by two lovely gentlemen. Well, one lovely gentleman and one slightly roguish individual there at the end. So we've got Jim from Mystery and Mayhem. Hey, Jim.
Hey,
And
how's everyone?
we've got Sean from Sean D. Standfast. Hiya, Sean. How's it going?
I want to be roguish. I want to be the rogue. Am I the rogue?
Oh, yeah, you can be the rogue if you want.
Oh, good. Okay.
You can be the rogue. You can both be rogues.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Fairly roguish.
How are you doing, Mark?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Yeah, it's Friday. Another week's over. Weekend's coming. I mean, the problem with the weeks going by so quickly is the weekend goes by even faster.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'll be back to work on Monday before I know it. But we're heading closer towards summer holidays, which I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, not because I love my job, so that's not the reason. It's more a case of actually being able to start trying to get some stuff done, around the house and whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because you kind of moved in right before the winter time, right? Basically,
Well, no, I moved in August, but with everything going on, I didn't really have, because I know some things can only be finished after like this spring. I couldn't do anything, with regards to the garden or any gardening, and I'm hoping at some point in the next couple of months to get a fence put in so Elvis can have the run of the area.
Oh yeah, you must be raring to go on it.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah. I mean, but he's all right on the lead. He just potters around, and we've got the forest and stuff nearby, which is nice. So, we have a few viewers already. Summer's here. Hi, Summer. How's it going?
Hello.
Maria's here. Hi, Maria. Hey.
Hi, Maria.
And Ariane's here as well. Hello, Ariane.
Hello,
Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday.
And what about you, Sean? How's it going with you? Are you doing well?
More or less, yeah. Just still really tired, and that I'm way behind in my reading, so I haven't read too much today. But I gotta get some reading done because I have 2 lives tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the schedule for those 2. So the first one's what, with Scott, is it? Or
yeah, talk about more essays from this year. A book of essays on science fiction, and this time a really long essay or couple essays about Robert A. Heinlein.
Oh, okay. And the second one's with who?
It's at the moment, I think it's just going to be with Pat. It's for the Heinlein book that we're doing this month, which we should be done in about 3 minutes.
All right.
What do you think of it, Pat? Crap. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Let's go.
Yeah, we don't have enough of that on BookTube, I think, though, sometimes. It would be really good if people just say, I've got a book review for you. I read this, and it was a pile of steaming horse manure. Thank you, BookTube.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, although I did have a book that, which is unusual for me. I don't know whether it's just that I select things that are generally, I know I'm going to enjoy or not, because it's unusual. I find myself giving less than 3 stars usually on something like Goodreads. But I read that Devolution by Max Brooks about the Bigfoot in the eco village thing.
Yeah.
Didn't float my boat at all, I'm afraid. I found it just, I just couldn't. Honestly, I thought about DNFing it, and I don't like to DNF, so I just pushed on. But I was just like, meh. I think I gave it 2 stars, which for me is like really, really bad. Yeah. So, have you read it, Jim?
Not me. No.
I forget who recommended it. I think it was Freeman, maybe. But he's usually on the mark, and maybe it is a good book. It's maybe just not my.
Well, is it like a non-fictional account of?
No. The non-fiction one I read, In the Valleys of the Noble Beyond, was brilliant. Loved it. It was so beautifully written. The nature experience of Canada and the First Nations people and all that was great. Really recommend that. But this one was a novel. I think it's the guy who wrote that World War Z.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And no. and it was about, I don't know, it was like this kind of eco smart community of houses out somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, where, you know, they had all the kind of like technology and stuff to allow the houses to be self-sufficient and all this kind of stuff. And then Mount Rainier explodes, volcano, I guess like a Mount St. Helens moment or something. And so they're cut off, but the devastation from this brings a band of marauding Sasquatches into this place. And I don't know, it was all done in like a series of somebody looking back and going through the main protagonist's diary and other people involved with it, like, you know, interviews and things like that. So the idea of it was fine, but I just found the main woman, I don't know, I just found her really annoying. You know, just like reading her diary about stuff, and she just got on my nerves, you know.
Oh, really?
Not any sympathy from me at all. No. So, yeah, that's right, Ariane. He is. Yeah, he's the son of Mel Brooks and Anne Bancroft. Yeah.
Oh, right. Really? Wow.
Yeah. So, Gavin's here. Hi there. Evening.
Hey, Gavin.
Right.
And Devolution gave too much credit to the Sasquatch's ability to organize and the stupidity of the smart community. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah. So, I mean, I can understand maybe why people like it, but I think just the format of it, the way it was written, just wasn't for me. So, you know, but yeah, luckily though, everything else I've been reading is good. But we'll come to that, I guess, in a minute. So, Jim, what about your reading? Have you got much done today or the last couple of days? Or
no, I've been reading actually the video I was talking about before we started the live. I've got some Ellis Peter books, Brother Cadfael mysteries. Yeah, nice. And I said in my video, normally back in the day, I would have stayed away from them. Like historical, cozy stuff, I wasn't interested. But I'm reading Monk's Hood, and I really like it. I'm really enjoying it so far. So I've got 6 of them. I'm going to try to pick up some more. I would have liked to have started with the first in the series, but I don't think it really matters that much. But yeah, I think it's great. Yeah. But you know, I haven't really been doing a lot of reading. I've been my last video, I was reading a whole bunch of crime books. I think I tore through like 6 of them. You know, I just felt like reading crime stuff. And then I saw another live, and they were talking about these Brother Cadfael mysteries. And I went to my thrift store and I saw a few. I said, okay, I'm going to give them a shot. And I'm glad I did.
The TV show, actually. I think that's what introduced it to me as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Derek Jacobi, I think, wasn't it?
I think it was there. Yeah, he was. I don't know if he's not the way I picture him. You know how I picture Brother Cadfael is like Sean Connery in Name of the Rose.
I thought you were going to say like Sean Standfast. Yeah.
But yeah, I just because he's a warrior. He's an ex-warrior. He fought in the Crusades, and you know, you picture him as kind of a bigger guy, and so yeah, I kind of picture him like Sean Connery a little bit. Yeah. But I love the whole idea. You know, he's got his own, you know, sorted, organized little world, you know, in the Abbey, and then every now and then there's a murder happens, and he has to kind of, you know, get back to that order, you know, and because it's that little bit of chaos that he's got to fix up, and I kind of like that idea. Really good.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned Name of the Rose. That was a book I enjoyed.
Yeah, I read that. Well, I've got it here. I think I ended up DNFing it. I started reading it, and I don't know why I DNF'd it, but I kind of want to go back to it now and read it.
I know someone who's in the chat right now. I'm not going to give them away unless they choose to be, who got to, I think, within 60 pages of finishing it and DNFing it.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I can guess who that is.
I'd have to plug through it at that point.
No, it drove me mad. I wanted to say to them, come on, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
60 pages. Yeah, okay, well, they've given it away, so there you go. It was summer. Unless she's just laughing at the person, but yeah, it was summer.
So I'm curious why she DNF'd it at that point.
I think I remember asking at the time because we were reading it together with a small group, and I think it was like she just come to this epiphany. I'm just over it, you know? I'm just over it. I'm not going to waste any more time on it. See, these really? I really enjoyed it, but I understood. I know I can't remember what they are now. It's years ago, but
yeah,
I remember at the time saying, yeah, okay, I kind of understand your motives, I suppose, for I couldn't have given up.
It's funny because my wife, like, we watched the movie a while back, and she didn't like the movie at all.
Yeah,
because she thought it was weird and all the characters were creepy.
Yeah,
but that's why she didn't like it.
Just didn't care anymore. Past caring.
You got to choose books for Summer and Ariane like I do. Books that they love.
Oh, I didn't choose it. I can't remember who chose it.
She didn't care about it anymore. But you've made it that far, though, Summer.
Yeah.
I just would have finished it at that point.
To be honest, it might even have been Summer who chose it. So, it could have been. I can't remember. There's a small group of us read it. It might have been something connected to one of the football things. We decided to go on with something afterwards. I can't remember. It's a good few years ago. So
it was a group read.
Yeah. But no,
you guys have Spring into Adventure coming up.
Well, not me technically, as I've retired for this year, but Sean does. Yeah.
What are you guys doing for that, Sean?
Well, it's 19th century pre-1900, a fiction book and a nonfiction book for the first month, sort of, and then 20th century or after for the second month, fiction and nonfiction.
Yeah.
And the group read's going to be around the world in 80. Yeah, it's around the world in 80 days.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that.
Well, maybe it was actually. Yeah, that's right. Maybe he was, and then he didn't do it, and we just went ahead and did it anyway. I don't remember, but yeah, it was something like that. A group of us did it, but yeah. So, no, Around the World in 80 Days. I'm looking forward to reading that again. I like that book. It's an afternoon job as well, which is nice, isn't it?
It doesn't have to be in that order.
I'm a fan of Jules Verne.
That's somebody's freezing.
Sorry.
Oh, I heard Jim talking, but his lips, your lips didn't move. You froze.
I think that was me. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm back now. I hope.
Yeah, the thing I heard you say was I'm a fan of Jules Verne.
Yes. Yeah. I like Jules Verne. Yeah, it's a good choice.
Yeah, I think so, and it's an easy choice. Anyone can really pick that up and read it, right? So, as I say, it's a day or two. It's not very long, so.
Yeah, that's going to be, theoretically, that's going to be an extra for me because I'm going to decide to reread this for the for the 19th century, and then 20th century is going to be what's it called? James Hilton's
Shangri-La.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the title, but
Lost Horizon.
Lost Horizon.
Lost Horizon. Yeah.
Well, that would be good. Yeah, I'm on a bit of a naval kick at the moment, though. I have to say, I'm thoroughly.
You're always consulting. You're always navel gazing.
You're reading some Patrick O'Brian.
Yeah, for the Patreon book club, we've been reading the Master and Commander, the first one,
nice.
Which is good. Yeah, I've been listening to it on Audible actually, so not reading technically, but I've read it before, so it's not. I read it before as a book, and it's nice to actually listen to it as an audiobook. It lends itself very well to that. And then I'll probably do a video about it. But I finished this on Wednesday. Really enjoyed it. I have to say, what a character! My goodness, he was Nelson's number 2 at Trafalgar, and then ended up taking over. But he was such a cool character, though. Like he wasn't fazed by things. He was so nice, like in terms of discipline and things. He didn't like flogging people or anything, and everybody respected him, behaved well for him. But like when Trafalgar started, the Battle of Trafalgar, his ship was the first one to go in. There were like literally explosions going off everywhere. The man next to him was like blown in half by a cannonball, but it took ages to die, and he like stops and was like, he's walking around directing the battle, all the while eating an apple. I mean, can you imagine that? I just find that great. He's like Admiral Collingwood walking around. You there? Do this. bombs going off, whether it was some kind of nervous tick or something. But I mean, what a cool customer.
Huh.
Yeah, it's just so exciting, all the naval stuff. I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I find it thrilling actually when the boats are going against each other.
Continue reading those for your Patreon group, or
I think I might. I don't know. We've got, because see, the thing is, people are always saying who is the main character Jack Aubrey based on, right? And there's definitely a lot of elements from Collingwood in Jack Aubrey. But the primary one, and this is the book for next month, which is just over here, is...
You might have been a sailor in a past life, Mark.
Well, maybe is this one. Thomas Cochrane, Lord Cochrane. People say he's also someone that O'Brien used. So this is his biography, and we're going to read this next month as a follow-up, I suppose, to Master and Commander. But again, fascinating.
Well, I think my Patreon is next month. I won't say what it is, so people are going to have to join to find out. It's one of the inspirations for Batman.
Oh,
I know what it is.
So it's a murder mystery.
Oh, Mary Roberts Reinhardt.
Shut up.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
I don't know. I have it on my shelf.
Yeah, I'd probably read the original novel, Circular Staircase, and then maybe watch 1 or 3 of the movies. And then she actually probably had nothing to do with writing the novelization of the play called The Bat, even though her name was on it. It was Stephen Vincent Benet probably actually wrote it. But it's all based on, because she wrote the play as well with somebody else.
And the month afterwards, in May, you could do the book that the Joker was based on.
Which one's that?
Yeah.
No, that's a little too big. The Man Who Laughs. Yeah. Yeah. That's probably a little too big, but that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. So
I think I'll be starting up a book club with just Zola. that'll keep for about 20 months, 2 years.
And what are you actually reading right now, Sean? Like what's on the go?
It's the essays at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And then, I still got to finish my reread of the first Zola, Rougon, and the Fortunes of the Rougons, and I think it's called. And I've got to finish that up. And then next week, which I'm behind, I should have actually finished or read the Engines of God for another group that I'm doing.
See, I feel very, what's the word?
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are things I want to read.
No, I know, but the thing is, it's like just picking up, like in the spur of the moment, something, being like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna read.
That's what I usually do, and that's why I'm behind, but not in this case.
That's what I've been doing. I just been picking up things that whatever I feel like reading, picking it up. Like even if it's something I want to read, Sean, soon as it's on some kind of list, I've got to read this for the group read, whether I want to read it or not, I immediately lose interest in it. I don't know why. I don't know why that is.
I don't have that problem. Thankfully, it's just usually something else comes up that somebody said something to go, oh, I've wanted to read that for a long time, and here's a good excuse so that I push everything else aside.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, but I've had no plans apart from obviously with Patreon, I suppose. But it's one book, and also again, it's great.
You're obligated with Patreon.
Yeah, well, yes.
Yeah.
But I think it was. I don't want to say, in case they don't want it to be known they are a patron, but somebody actually suggested reading a book about him, and I just looked this one up, and I thought, I was going to read it anyway, so it just worked out perfectly well. I was like, great. And it's like the two things I'm reading now. Again, no plan, just kind of something. I don't know why something interested me. I'm reading again a nonfiction, which is called The World Before Us, which is all about the early no, what are they called? Not humanoids, hominins.
Hominids.
So like, yeah, hominids. Yeah, so like the Homo sapiens and Neanderthals and Denisovans and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, fascinating. It's,
before we polluted the world, before we polluted the earth.
It's just, I don't know. There's just something so haunting and so mysterious, isn't there, about the world that far in the past, and the fact there were, people walking around, different types of people. I've just got to the Hobbits chapter. I haven't started it yet, so I'm going to read that later. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
But to follow it up, because I've been trying to
Mark, there were no hobbits. There were no hobbits.
There were hobbits.
There was small people.
They were not hobbits.
They are called Homo hobbitus. I think it's Homo florensis, isn't it? They're from the Flores Islands.
There was giants back then too. There was giants, apparently, but they find these huge skeletons that would basically be regarded as giants.
Well,
like you said, all kinds of people back then.
They're known like locally as hobbits, yeah, like even within the community. So, but I had to laugh. Was he Canadian or was he Danish? Because there was an excerpt in the book. I was just thinking, oh my god, yeah. Oh, he's Danish, yeah. He said the visitor was a freshly arrived Danish postdoctoral researcher. He looked like a bass player from a heavy metal band. He wore cowboy boots and had long hair and a very gruff voice. I would later discover, though, that as a teenager, he got lost in the snowy wastes of Siberia and suffered frostbite on his testicles, no less.
Ouch. Oh.
Ouch, indeed. Ouch, indeed. Yeah. So
does he talk really high voice?
Well, no, he had a gruff voice, so I don't know.
You got to protect those, boy.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be awful if it was actually like he did one of those dares where he just stuck them on something metal to see But anyway, like I've taken up with reading something nonfiction and then some novel related to it. And so I thought, what novel can I read about cavemen and women and stuff, Neanderthals and this thing? And a lot of people suggested the Clan of the Cave Bear to me. But it was so long, right? It's like 500, 600 pages. I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. So I found one, I think it's written by a Finnish author. It's called Dance of the Tiger. It was written in like the late 70s, early 80s. And it gets a good write-up. It's very, very readable. And I really like it because he makes a thing at the beginning. He's like, these people, if they spoke to each other, would have spoken in what for them was modern way of speaking. So I'm not going to do like all this Uggs and like me love woman, you be wife, this kind of thing. So they write normally, but I was actually surprised at some of the sexual explicit stuff in it, actually. I'll have to tell you guys later. It's just so funny, this stuff, because it's like the meetings between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. Yeah. So
yeah. Well, what was that movie back in the 80s? Quest for Fire, which dealt with the same kind of thing, I think. And it was kind of had some sexually explicit stuff in the movie too. But yeah, it's human nature, right?
Well,
at least you didn't say The Inheritors by William Golding. That was a piece of steaming.
Well, the funny thing is, I actually read the first few pages of both books, and I went with this one. So The Inheritors was my second choice.
Yeah, that was this pile of steaming poop.
What was that about?
Neanderthals and like with humans sort of taken over. It's just bad. He's a bad writer. Like, I've not read anything that I even approach half decent, but people love him for some reason.
Yeah, people were saying how deep it was and how difficult it is to read, and it's so well written that it's difficult to read, kind of thing. And I was like, yeah. But no, this other one's good. Like, I I'm looking forward to reviewing it. I think it's an enjoyment for sure. I mean, it's translated, so I guess again the translator's done a good job. But yeah, it's been fun so far. We have a few comments. Jekyll and the System. Hi, hey all, I love watching these. Well, thank you.
Hello.
Greg's here. Howdy, Greg from Ghost Readers in the Sky. Gavin saying hi to Greg. Greg saying hi to Gavin. And Ariane, it's so easy to get consumed with all the reading events that it takes away from any pleasure of mood reading. Yeah, I think that's a fair point.
Yeah, for sure.
And Mick's here. Hello, Mick. That's the beauty of being a BookTube consumer. No obligations, and follow you guys for inspiration on what to read next with no deadlines. Yeah. Well, I think sometimes we make it out worse than it is, because ultimately, of course, it's up to us. But I think a lot of the time, I don't know, probably Jim with you, it's the same. The whole FOMO. Sometimes when you have to stop yourself and say, "What am I missing out on?"
Yeah, that's huge for me. And it's tough to say no, and I have to learn to just say no.
But you've stepped back a bit. You're not in any events, are you, at the moment?
Me? No. I just said no to, I'm not going to do anything. I mean, I read Mysteries in March, but that doesn't mean I was doing March Mystery Madness. I just, what I wanted to read, it just happened to coincide with the month.
Yeah.
But it's not like I won't do any. Like I'll probably do June on the Range because I'm going to be reading Westerns anyway. And that's probably one of my favorite events to do. Is June.
Me too. I really enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
But I'll just be doing it in the background probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a host, but Michael said he'll keep my saddle warm in case I change my mind. But we'll see.
Yeah. I was a host too this last year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I put a few up, but I never feel like I'm doing enough. You feel obligated. Oh, I've got to. You feel the pressure. Oh, I got to do this really good video. I've got to make sure I put up one a week, and I don't know. It seems like a lot of pressure. Like I'm not complaining about it or anything. It just I'd rather just, like you said, just do it in the background and just read what you want and not feel obligated to get out and do videos all the time on it.
The funny thing, of course, is that pressure usually just comes from us, doesn't it? I mean, there's no way Michael's there like saying, "Come on, get your ass in gear and put out a video."
Michael's so easygoing too.
Yeah.
Eh? Like even with the event itself, there's no hard and fast prompts. Just read a Western, read a Louis L'Amour, read a Zane Grey, and there you go. He's a very easygoing guy.
Yeah,
but you're right.
That's true.
There's the other side of things too. Like you read, like this month I'm reading a Heinlein that I didn't like, but then the other side of it is, okay, I didn't like it, so therefore I'm going to reading stuff around it. So I found some interesting things about the writing of it and what Heinlein was doing in the book or was doing in the background. So that can sort of turn things around for me a little bit.
It's nice to immerse yourself in a story, and then you just delve into writings about the story and about the author, and I like that.
Yeah,
like
even if it's a book that you don't like this one, I just didn't like. I didn't care for it at all, and it took me forever to read it. It's like it's only like 170 pages long, and it took me longer to read this. I felt like than reading Les Miserables.
And you're normally a fan of Heinlein?
No, well, not really.
I
liked his short stories, and this was something between Mark Richardson and I that we wanted to re-look at Heinlein. So we just sort of started it ourselves, but then I opened it up to other people, and other people wanted to join for some of the books. So that's what we're doing, is just reading through a bunch of 12 books. And some short stories, and then just reassess. In my mind, I'm reassessing him, and so far, we see, this is the problem. I had too many juveniles on it, and this is a juvenile, and but his short stories so far are great, and it just everything is like that's what my memory is, that his short stories were great.
Yeah,
the novels not so much.
Yeah. It's like it's funny. It's funny how you read one book of an author you'd never read before, and that can make or break how you feel about that author. Like I read Ringworld by Larry Niven with that book swap I did, and I didn't get along with that book at all. But so many people love that book, and I just didn't enjoy it. Didn't really. I don't think it was well written. Like the premise itself was very cool. It just and it had potential. He didn't live up to the potential that it had, I thought. You know, and I probably won't go back and read another Larry Niven because of that. I should give him another chance, but I have too many other things I want to read, so I probably won't waste my time.
Too many Alice Peters.
Too many Alice Peters and everything else.
Ariane says, too many books to read isn't the worst problem in the world. That's true.
No, that's true.
Says, please let me know who Michael is. I like Westerns I've read so far, but need more suggestions. I think Michael's channel might help. Yes, Michael K. Vaughan. Vaughan.
Yep. Great channel.
Great channel. Yeah.
He's probably one of the first booktubers I started watching was Michael, and really wanted me to start, think about doing my own videos. Like he likes a lot of the same stuff that I like, Michael.
We started the same time. It's always my little thing. We live with like a week of each other or something. So yeah. He's a little bit bigger.
He's relentless though, man. He posts so often, and he puts a lot of work into his videos, and it's possible to get to that point if you want to put the work in.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he absolutely. I mean, every day.
Yeah.
I mean, the comic book stuff.
But I disagree. It's not possible. It's not always possible to get there because it's the algorithm for instance, here's a perfect example. I did that. I did a live video, and it went on Mark's channel as well for sorting of books. Not the greatest of videos to watch, but that's not the point. The point is what YouTube does with that. My stuff was suggested on videos like about Putin, about somebody drinking their urine, and a whole bunch of other stuff, nothing to do with books. And if I look at all my videos that had anything to do, if there's 4 things that they show, I'll be lucky if one of them has anything to do with books. So there's something broken there. And then Mark's channel, it showed it was suggested on stuff that had to do with books. Books was in the title.
Wow.
So that's why I mean that it's nothing. Like I'm convinced it has nothing to do with what you do on your channel. It's just somehow that YouTube does something with your videos different than somebody else's.
Do you think though that if you posted like every day, like do you put hashtags in your description? Do you put hashtags in of books?
I get better results without the hashtags.
Really?
I get better results without the hashtags.
I heard the hashtags don't do anything.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
And I was putting out for over a year, a couple of years ago, I was putting out more than one video a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
At the exact same times.
It makes you rethink things.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's like if these things were put on, I'm not saying that I should have 50,000 subscribers or anything like that. Yeah. But when you look at it, because I could never compare apples to apples before. This is the first time I've been able to compare the same video to the same video that's on Mark's channel. And
we did have different titles. That's the difference. We did. Whether or not that made the difference, but we did have different titles.
But the word book was in the title of each of them.
Yeah.
So
it's always a thing I think about though. Do I want 50,000 subscribers? Yes. Do I really want 50,000 subscribers? No. I can barely reply to the ones that I've got now, right? I can't imagine what it would be like if I had hundreds of comments to get back to every day or something. It would be terrible, but also good. I don't know. It's a tough one.
I'm starting to miss comments. Like I try to stay on top of them, but then I'll go back and I'll notice, oh, there's one from 3 weeks ago that I didn't see.
Sometimes it holds them back as well, and I forget to check the tab, and I was like, "There's nothing wrong with this."
Yeah.
I
don't know. I'm good with doing like a video, like a couple videos a week or a video a week. I mean, it's not about getting all the followers for me anyway. It's just people who are interested in what I talk about, they'll tune in, and if you keep at it, they'll tune in.
How can they tune in if your video suggested on something about somebody drinking urine and you're talking about Elvis Peters?
That's
at least we could have people tuning into tarot card readings at least.
Now that you've said urine like 3-4 times now, Sean, now he's gonna get it mark on his channel, all these drinking urine videos.
Well, I should say urine then, as the British do.
Yeah. Weird.
I don't know. It's sometimes, you can feel kind of underappreciated. It's like, I really enjoyed making these books that made me. I thought, that'd be nice to kind of dive back and look at these books that I read. And I don't know, of course, the viewership just gets worse and worse. So it's making me think, well, I'm making them more for me, I suppose. Just to keep a record of books I liked reading as a child, moving up into teenage.
What if you were to put a picture of the books up in your thumbnail? Like an actual.
Because I think that, you see, part of me thinks, well, someone at least might click to see what it is, right? But
yeah.
Maybe it's the time I'm releasing them, or maybe they're just no good. But I quite like them. But it's weird when you do that because you sometimes get like a loyal following for particular videos. I think actually Michael was saying this, maybe Steve was saying this for their Comic Book Wednesdays, right? They get few views, but it's always the same people, so you don't want to disappoint them. But also, if I didn't enjoy doing them and taking that trip down memory lane, I wouldn't make them, I suppose. So in the end, it is just for
and that's what it's all about. Yeah. That's what it comes down to.
I was making some shorts, just taking photos of these pulps that I have. The first one I did really well. Like for me, it did really well. And then the second one did less than half of the views of the first one. And then the other 4 or 5 that I did didn't even have 10 views. And it's like, what's going on there? And again, it's this type of thing that I haven't looked to see. I don't know if you can see in shorts where it was suggested on, but that's the thing. It's like if at least if my stuff was being suggested on other videos that had anything to do with books, that's okay. But when it's nothing to do with books, or it's fashion, like women's shoes or women's handbags, like it just doesn't make sense.
So would you do it again, Sean? I mean, would you start a channel now, knowing what you know, or would you just not bother?
I wouldn't bother, probably. I wouldn't bother.
Really? But you think that you've got a social life out of it, which you wouldn't have had otherwise?
Probably. Yeah, but I would have been watching, so I probably would have as well, because I would have joined in on groups.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. Would I do it again? I don't know.
I would, frankly, actually.
I probably would too. Because like you said, you're watching other people's videos and you want to get involved, and that's why I made the channel to begin with.
Well, I enjoy it when I have the time and stuff. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy when possible trying to do something a little more creative. It doesn't seem like it at the moment, but when the chance is there, I do it. I would definitely do it. I don't regret it for an instant. Maybe, as I say, I sometimes look at some people, not mentioning any names, and think, well, how the hell did they get so many followers and stuff? They're terrible. But then obviously maybe I am, if I've got less, that's the thing.
But I'm saying you're not. That's not necessarily it. Doesn't mean that they're better because they've got all these views. Because as I say, they're just clicking in with things. Because I see some other people holding up like a pulp like in a video or a short or something like that, and people go ape shit and saying how great this is, and it gets thousands of views. And I'm going, well, here's a whole short with 10 of them, and it's done the exact same way that they have done. And that's the thing that's a bit maddening, because, as I say, if it was advertised correctly, then it was not so bad. But when it's not, I just find it so frustrating.
But I think as well, though, I mean, I'm not generally putting out stuff that most people would think about reading or want to read. I suppose that's the thing.
But there's a niche for what you do put up. There are people who
and I've probably got them, right? At least quite a few of them, because I do have very loyal and lovely subscribers, the ones I've interacted with. Now, of course, there's a smaller amount than the amount there are, but I can honestly say, it's just wonderful the people I've interacted with, and that I would.
Oh yeah, that's that there is, but it's like I kind of wonder how they've ever found me when I'm being advertised on videos that people drink their urine and stuff like that. How did somebody
maybe your followers are urine drinkers and they're like, wow, look at this guy. Yeah, let's go follow his books. So you never know.
The YouTube search bar is useless too. Like if I type in vintage paperbacks, barely anything comes up. Like I have to go look at other people's what they recommend to find good people who do vintage paperbacks, because I'm not going to find them on the YouTube search bar.
Well, that's why hashtags are useless.
And if you do, the top ones are going to be rubbish channels generally.
Yeah,
like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they don't know the first thing about it. But it's like, I remember I knew nothing about BookTube, and I came along and I'd heard of it, and at first I thought it was a separate website.
Me too, BookTube. Yeah, I didn't know
something. I thought, so I'm like BookTube.com or something.
Yeah.
I typed in BookTube on YouTube, and of course it came up with all these young, gorgeous looking people, and thinking, okay, look at this, right? And they're all reading young adult fantasy,
and they all have like 500,000 subscribers.
Yeah. They've all got their teeth bleached and all this kind of stuff, just looking amazing. I thought there's no one who looks like this on BookTube, and then of course, like right now, at least, look at those hairy beasts and stuff on here. But I'm going to be something unique. I'm bound to be successful. What about all those other 40-something-year-old men who want to read good books? I can speak for them in this work universe. And of course, as soon as I joined, I met loads of people like me, which was great.
It was like when I first saw BookTube, it was young people, and they were talking about, they've got these antique books, and they're showing up like 1970s book club editions that are plastic covered and that are peeling, and they don't have the dust jackets, and they're saying how great this. And you look at these, hundreds of comments of how great they are, and then I hold up some from 1700s, and I'm going, somebody's they're gonna wet themselves when they see my stuff.
What is it with you and urination, Sean? This is why people wet themselves.
It keeps going up.
Did I mean anything about urination in that statement?
They wet themselves. Right, moving on. So
the AI is listening. They're listening.
You must have made someone mad, Sean. Yes, probably. Steve was here. I don't know if he's still here. Hi, Steve. My videos get suggested on men's fashion channels.
Oh, he had a good book haul video this morning. I watched a couple of great Civil War paperbacks and books.
And
how you doing, Steve?
What Civil War was this?
What Civil War?
Yeah.
Oh, the American Civil War.
The American Civil War. Okay, fine. Sorry.
Yes. I forget the titles, but great.
Yeah,
books.
Nice. That reminds me. I worked for when I first came to England. Worked for a bookshop. I'll not name who they were. It was a new bookshop, and this older couple comes in and wants to buy their son a book. First of all, they wanted American Civil War, and the head of the history section was arguing with them, telling there's no such thing as the American Civil War. So I grabbed them, and I knew exactly what they wanted. They wanted the
which
Shelbyfoot.
Civil War? Which American Civil War are they referring to?
No, they wanted Shelby Foote's Civil War trilogy.
So the second Civil War.
They wanted that, but the saleswoman. See, I'm not biting. The saleswoman was saying that there's no such thing as an American Civil War. It was the English Civil War. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. Well, I suppose. Although, I suppose not. No.
Only a Brit would ask, "What Civil War? What Civil War?"
Because I get a little bit annoyed about it. The fact that everyone just takes it. I mean, think how many civil wars there've been, for one thing, like around the world.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody, even English people do it. I do it myself. I say the Civil War, and it's like, Mark, you idiot, come on.
And there will be another one. There's going to be another one very soon.
Civil War. They said the American Civil War, and then the young woman was telling them there was no such thing. It's only the British Civil War.
Where was this, Sean? Where was this? Where did that happen?
It was happening in a bookshop when I first came here.
In the UK. In the UK.
Yeah, in the UK.
I think they were taking the piss, Dawn.
No, she didn't know. She didn't know. Because she actually made a complaint to the manager because I took the customers away and actually sold them something.
Let me just go through the comments quickly before we embark on Civil Wars. I enjoy having a channel and love my subscribers. Oh,
yeah, I do too.
If you're not subscribed to Summer, head over there and subscribe now.
Yeah.
Ariane, I think YouTube needs variety. There are too many channels focused on new releases and bestsellers. It's not for everyone. You each offer something different, which is the appeal for me. Thank you, Ariane. That's lovely of you to say so. And I agree. I think there's too much repetition on BookTube. Everyone's always reviewing the same thing.
Yeah.
These other mass market channels, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know how to chase the YouTube algorithm. I don't think I want to learn.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
Obviously a piss take, Sean. The search bar is awful.
Yeah.
How many times can Sean mention urine or urine?
Yeah. Let's start making a tally every time urine is said.
It's been American Civil War was fought over slavery, states' rights, and urine. Yeah, 7 years ago, our forefathers
brought forth.
Yeah.
Oh boy, you're going to regret it, Mark.
Well, I don't know, but it's one of those things. It's like, I just think, no, I'm going to be good and make. It's like when Americans say football, and they mean, of course, American football, which we have to quantify it with. I think, no, Mark, I'm going to be good and make people specify exactly what they mean now. So,
but they're speaking from their own experience and their own what they know, right? Like Civil War. When I hear Civil War, it's the one Civil War. When I hear football, it's the American football, CFL, NFL. But yeah, it's something maybe people should be aware of.
Well, I don't know, Jim. I think you have to change your worldview now. Now you'll be looking to join the European Union and move away from America in your what's it? So
no,
I think
no. We're going to be self-sustaining country. We're going to trade with each other, with other provinces. We're going to be self-sustaining, build our own pipelines, do our own mines, and to hell with, no offense to the Americans. We love Americans. Just, it's not to get into politics.
It's well, to be fair, I think that's an important thing to say, though, is that even my joking aside and everything, I love American people. Generally, I've really not met one that I didn't like when I actually interacted with them. Yeah. And I think, but that's the whole point of everything is people are people at the end of the day. It's government.
My best friends are Americans.
Yeah, some of my best friends are American. That's right.
Everybody's just looking to make it through the day. Honestly, I mean, no matter where you're from, you're just looking to make it through the day. And I have family down in the States. I wouldn't want to live down there right now. Just saying.
Yeah. We have a question from Mr. Donahue. I have a question for the facial hair panel. What accounts for the rising tide of BookTube disillusionment? I've seen a dozen videos lately from people who've fallen out of love with the platform. So, Sean, urine aside, is is there something that's made you feel that kind of you've fallen out of love with your hobby?
Well, I haven't actually fallen out of love with it. It's just I've changed it. As people notice, I have hardly done any pre-recorded videos. It's lives. I enjoy doing the lives more because at this point, I want to enjoy myself, and I enjoy myself the most on the lives. So it's, even though there's lots of stuff I'd like to do video wise, but it's like, okay, do I want to spend that much time to do it the way I want to do, or just do a slapshot video like I usually have? And it's like, no, I don't want to do slapshot video. And I don't want to spend the kind of time that it requires to do that, because at the end of the day, I probably won't enjoy myself as much, because it just sort of feels like I'm farting into a hurricane.
Hissing into the wind, even.
Or just say "Gone with the Wind." That's all I say.
I haven't fallen out. I'm not disillusioned with YouTube. I just, it's the events and everything that I just found were taking. I was reading less instead of more, instead of reading what I want to read. And now I pick up a book and I read what I want to read, and I'm getting through books that I've been wanting to get through, but YouTube itself, I enjoy it, but I've never been the most chatty, loquacious person. I mean, I every time I sit down to do a video, I enjoy it, but I kind of struggle with it, because I'm always saying, for one, I go and and all this shit, but I still struggle with it, and it's something I want to get better at. And almost one of the reasons I wanted to start YouTube too, was to get over that, to be able to talk more easily, and the lives help. Like I do enjoy the lives, because I think I'm more at ease doing the lives than I am when I'm sitting by myself in my room shooting a video. It's just chatting.
It's more natural because you've actually got people to talk to, as it were.
Yeah.
So you can see. I mean, you are talking to people. But, recently I did a couple of lives on my own. And I think there was one I did where they were like, I don't know. It's not like Steve, right? He gets like 80, 90 people in the chat. It kind of helps bolster it by asking questions and stuff like that. I think I had like 6 people on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And only maybe one of them was communicating, but I actually went the full hour. I was proud at how much I could just talk nonsense for an hour, and I actually enjoyed it. At the end of it, I was like, oh, that was all right.
That's awesome. That's good. I couldn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe part of it, of course, is living in a country where I don't have a lot of contact with native speakers of English. And, I find that, maybe I'm a little bit quieter than I would normally be. And this allows me to suddenly explode all over the place with my pent up, conversation. But yeah. There we go. You see? Yeah. The problem is, Steve, you just have them on at the wrong time. I'm fast asleep and never get to
I usually catch, maybe not the whole episode, but I usually tune in. He's a very engaging talker. You're a very engaging talker. You know what you're talking about. And that's something I kind of envy in a lot of booktubers, that they can just get on and just talk easily. And that never's come to me naturally. Never.
I just want to go back to that. My Steve streams never dip below 100 people these days. They're lots of fun. It's a dumpster fire. I know, Harry, I was referring to situations.
I know how to put out dumpster fires.
Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I never understand. Who wants an 8-pack or a 6-pack when they could have a keg or a barrel? That's what I never understand.
Who says I don't have an 8-pack?
Well, I said, who wants one when you could have a barrel? Come on. I'd rather have a barrel than a 6-pack. Context. Yeah. Sorry. It was too good to miss. So, but yeah, no, I sometimes watch Steve's back, but I think if I remember though, he doesn't usually put the chat replay back, which sometimes is a bit difficult because
there is no chat on it. He does YouTube, so you can't show the chat.
I think you still have to set the live chat replay. Yeah. So it comes up like it. Shows,
at the bottom. Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah. So sometimes I don't know what's going on because it's like a one-sided.
You mean when you rewatch it, there you can't.
Yeah, because you don't always see the comment was that he's referring to.
Okay, I didn't know that was an option you could turn on.
That's why StreamYard is good, because you don't need really the chat replay at the bottom, because you put up the chat onto the screen.
When you set up the live gym, sorry, Sean. When you set up the live gym, you go into the settings and you just click, and that's what say. It's just above where you put it in subscriber only mode as well, so you don't get, you don't get the hoi polloi coming in, and
people with six packs coming in.
Yeah, you're taking the piss out of me because Sean wants it all. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you could just replay it, Steve. If you in the settings, just go to whatever it is. I think it is just settings in your video when you edit, and you just select live chat replay. So I've done it for this one as well. So yeah, no, I think I still like and love BookTube. I don't have any real problems with it. I'm just wanted to change direction in how I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying.
That's what I have, like with doing the lives more than anything else. But the question was like the earlier question you asked was, would I start it again? Like I probably wouldn't, because I just don't think I would.
Yeah, but I thought we had a nice thing going where we would look at the TLS on Sunday mornings. Yeah. And now you never get yours delivered in time. So it's like, did it come today?
No.
So there you go. So we'll have to do it another day. But yeah.
Forgive my ignorance. What's the TLS?
Times Literary Supplement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the first one I got was when you should get it is Fridays, and then the rest, and then what was the second one I got? Tuesday, and somebody had opened it and then shoved it into my slot. So somebody,
where you live, they probably would for sure.
Oh boy,
Aaron's here. Yeah, hello.
When I worked for the paper, Hamilton Spectator, we had the New York Times book review section that I used to get to read it all the time when I worked at the paper when I was there.
I wish you could get that here. I wish I could get. I wish I could get any kind of Sunday newspaper that wouldn't cost a mortgage of a house to get on Sundays here.
Yeah, well, they're so decrepit now, though, Sean. Nothing to them anymore. Remember when Sunday papers used to be like that thick?
Yeah. Well, I think in England they still are. I think the Times, the Observer.
They're still they're less. The Observer is
less.
Yeah, but it's about 8. Well, I think it's 8 or 10 pounds for the friggin' paper on Sunday. I think it is. Let me just do
got a few comments to do while he checks that. So Sean lives south of the river, eh? Well, yeah, south of the River Tyne. BookTube. Steve has another question for the Whisker Council. Given the question of would you do it again, is BookTube still welcoming to newcomers, do you think? I do, yes. What about you guys?
I honestly don't think it's the way BookTube, YouTube is now. I don't think it's going to last the way it's been going. I think, they just, the powers that be just see something that they're just going to ruin somehow or other, just like everything else has been. So I think we're living on borrowed time. I think right now it's probably still open to newcomers, people who want to start their new channels, but it's not going to be like that forever.
I can see them making us move into a scenario where we have to pay to subscribe to anybody.
And Well, yeah, this is too much like free speech too. Like I watch a lot of these news channels, these rebel news channels, and they say things that aren't necessarily, the powers that be want to hear, and so just a matter of time before that's gone by the wayside.
I don't see YouTube as any kind of free speech, because you can't even put like Philip K. Dick's name in the title without them.
Well, that's true. That's true too.
From doing that, and so that's the bad thing.
But there are be censored now because you mentioned that, or
they could, because they got AI. Because what I find now is something's happened over the last 6 months. When I actually put up a video, it usually does its checks, and it usually takes a couple minutes to do the checks. I do a 3 or 5 minute video, and it takes 35-40 minutes to do its checks.
Oh no!
What are they doing? What are they doing?
Mine's very fast.
No, mine has gone from fast to extremely slow.
I don't know. I still watch some channels that get away with saying some pretty things that everybody wouldn't like, but and they're still able to
subscribe. You can, but they won't be found. That's the thing. If somebody searches for them, they probably won't be found. They won't be suggested anywhere, and not even on bodily function channels. See, I didn't say urine.
That's how it works, eh? That's how it works. Yeah, I guess you're right. They won't recommend your channel. It'll still be up, but nobody's going to see it.
Yeah.
Unless you subscribe and you're looking for it anyway.
I mean, going back to Steve's actual question about, is BookTube still welcoming? I.e., I guess the community, or what is this community though? Really,
it's little cliques. That's what all this is. They're little cliques.
Oh yeah, there's levels. There's levels of cliques.
There's cliques. Yeah. And so it's that's the way it is. And some are and some aren't, because you do see some that look. You could just I occasionally look at somebody that I hadn't seen before in my feed. And some of them are very snooty about other booktubers.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. It's very cliquey. It's very.
But the thing is, they had to start down there too. That's what I don't understand. Okay, maybe they have 1 million subscribers now, but they had to start at the bottom sometime.
Well, I got it. I've been getting emails from a place that is saying that you can buy.
Yeah, I got this.
Subscribers and views. Like it was like on Twitter where you could buy, followers.
Well, that's an empty, stupid thing to do anyway. Like, okay, it's like filling your bookshelves up just because they look nice.
But it kicks in the algorithm probably, or something like that. So success feeds success, so to speak, right? So,
and then somebody sees your video or your channel and go, oh, they got 30,000 followers. They must be worth watching. So I'm going to subscribe too.
You have to be. Wow. The way to see what's happened with those channels is generally you can see it when someone has 10,000 subscribers and their viewers are, now down to the video's been out for 4 hours and it's had, 37 views. There's something usually wrong there.
But then you see the other.
I don't know where he's at. He's probably at 20,000 or something, right? You consistently see his videos pulling in views of 1,000, 1,500 or more after just one night, or when I wake up in the morning, it's he releases overnight. So I think obviously that is real. Whereas when you see people who have 10,000 subscribers and they're getting 35, 40 views on a video after 4 or 5 hours, there's something wrong. Unless people don't watch. And I have to say, I'm guilty of that too. I subscribe to, I don't know. I mean, actually, I was talking about this with Summer the other day, and she actually was able to count how many people she subscribed to. I think she said it was something like 600. I have no idea. And I'm thinking, well, I hardly watch anybody in the end when it comes down to it, unless it throws up something of massive interest. But sorry, you were going to say something, Steve.
Well,
Sean, sorry.
I have seen a lot of video like booktubers. They've got less than say 500 viewers, but every time they put a video up, they've got like thousands and thousands of views. And how does that happen?
Yeah, that's a weird thing I've seen too.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of things. We'll come back to this because it's interesting. Jenny's here. Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
Bob, the generic phrase is shadow banning. You're not told that you're censored, but you find yourself posting into the ether.
Yeah, that's what I feel like I am. Yeah.
I don't think that they check mine thoroughly. But then again, I don't look suspicious like you lot.
Yeah.
But it's the same.
You can buy the mattress
with my Desert Island books. They do a bit better than others, but they don't do as well as they should, because especially I've had booktubers on that have had very, very large subscribers, and they share it on their channel, and I still don't get anything. And then but you look at the comments and people are saying, oh, well, I could listen to this person speak about anything all day, and I don't get that many. And I kind of wonder what is happening there.
I think part of the problem,
people seeing it on their channel.
I think part of the problem is, unfortunately, depending who posts for you, I think it doesn't make a difference. I think if Steve or Michael or Criminoli said now, go and check out Mark or Book Time of Elvis or Jim from Mystery Mayhem, maybe Jim, because he's a little bit less time than us here, or Sean D. Stanfast, I don't think it would make any difference to our viewers now. If we were brand new, yes. The fact is, most of those people will in some form have come across us before, and they've already chosen not to subscribe to us for whatever reason.
No, I'm not saying subscribe. I'm talking about specifically the Desert Island books, where people on their channels will say, and this happened right at the beginning when I was doing this, that they could listen to them, basically paraphrase, they could listen to them read the telephone book. Well, why aren't they then watching this talk that I have with them? So that's why I wonder if because when somebody shares it, has anybody seen it? Because I don't see anytime Mark. What?
I'm like you. I don't see.
Yeah, I don't see anytime Mark or most people put up a live scheduled. I don't see it on my feed, on my subscription feed. If they put up a post, or it used to be a community post, I don't see most people's. If I look at my general feed, that's how sometimes I see stuff that somebody is doing a live or somebody's done a post. I don't see it on my feed, so they're not. YouTube is not sharing that feed with me for some reason.
I disagree that it's an empty thing. If you buy enough subs and views, you can end up with a book contract or hosting BAFTA on the red carpet. I think Steve does have a point there, though, because it does seem to me sometimes some of these bigger channels, I just honestly, I don't get it. Whether it's an age thing or whether it's whether I'm a snob, maybe, I don't know, in some respects. Well, sometimes I really don't get it. I'm like, I listen to that person for more than a few minutes, and then when they do start talking, it's rubbish. And especially if you try to sell these courses on classics or something else, and you just think, oh no, really?
A lot of these ones who do have the high subscriber counts, they deal with a lot of the newer books, like a lot of the current, YA and romantasy and all the stuff that's just current on the shelves. And this is what these younger people talk about, and this is what they keep pushing into the.
I think it's mixed though, Jim. You do see a lot of classic sell too, though. I mean,
with the higher subscriber channels.
I depend. I mean, how high are we talking here?
I don't like the ones I'm talking about. Like you said, they've got the bleach teeth and they've got the awesome background with the lights. I'm talking 1 million subscribers.
Okay, maybe, in that
respect, those ones.
Yeah, well, the other thing is too that when somebody I see some people that have excess of say 50,000 or not even that much that talk about a certain a narrow bit of books, whatever that happens to be, or an author that doesn't really get talked about much, they, for some reason, when somebody's looking for stuff and they want them to talk on the radio and stuff like that, they just pick out these people, and they just pick out because they got big numbers, and they don't pick them out because they know anything about their subject.
Yeah,
but they wind up on that, and then they get more. It feeds the thing.
I think the question is really, even if they read some of
there's a niche of people who do like the vintage paperbacks, and they get mentioned. Like there's a couple of magazines at Paperback Parade, and I forget the names of them, but you get channels like the Book Graveyard and the Paperback Warrior. They do get recognition for their channels because they do talk about specific things, and which I like to see, and that kind of gives me hope for BookTube. I want to start going more towards vintage paperbacks and that kind of stuff, and mystery and Western, and just kind of focus on that. And hopefully that if I talk enough about that, people will find me and they'll want to follow me. Not that I need the follows or want the follows. It doesn't matter. I just want people who are interested in that to see my channel and watch my videos. Yeah. That's all it comes down to.
That I find too is that I don't quite understand is like when you do a series of things like I did for a little while of the eye candy or whatever, the science fiction
pulp covers, yeah.
And this was the paperbacks, like the 1960s paperbacks.
Okay.
And it was like they first started out with pretty good views, and then the last few that I did hardly had any views at all. There were ones consistent viewers, but the thing is, every time I do something like this, it just consistently drops. Like you're saying with Mark, it consistently drops.
Were these shorts?
No. These
are regular videos.
Yeah, and it's the same thing as I did a series on my science fiction reference books, and the first one did really well, and then the last one, within a week, I think I didn't even have 20 views on it, and I'm going, what is going on here? Why is there always a consistent drop of viewers on something like this? Well, I see other people doing things like this, and their views consistently go up, and the quality isn't going up. It's just that they're just doing this, and
it's hard to take sometimes these things personally, though. I.e., it could be you. It's like, why are less people watching the video of a series I put out? Well, one obvious reason is, they're not enjoying me doing it, right?
Well, yeah, that could be, but why? But why isn't it consistent rate from the beginning, or more or less? Why is it high at the beginning and then consistently drop?
Well, maybe because you've kind of saturated your page with the same thing. Like maybe change it up.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Do something different.
When I see other people doing this constantly and doing it more than I have, or not so much more, but they're doing the same thing, and their views are getting higher and higher.
It's the same when you read a book aloud. Like if you read a book aloud on it, the viewers get less and less and less. I mean, Steve can tell you that because I know he's been reading one out, and I'm sure he's getting less views each time as he goes on with it. And I think maybe part of it is maybe Jim, you're right. I mean, because I realized with the series I've been doing, the title has remained the same. So apart from like so-and-so episode 1, episode 2, maybe if I just given it a different snappy title for each video, it might have
Titles are important. Your thumbnail's important. Like I've had people come on and say, "Oh, I saw your thumbnail. I thought your thumbnail was awesome, and that's why I clicked on the video." But then again, you get people who just upload their video and they don't put a thumbnail, and it still does well. So
I wonder who you could be talking about.
Well, the other thing about the title, which is interesting too, I've got everybody has their one video or two videos that continually gets views for some reason. And I've got one that's several years back, and it's called Your Personal Library. And then when I look at search terms as well, personal library is one of the top search terms.
What does it show up on?
What?
Have you looked to see what videos it's recommended on?
Yes. Yeah, and the thing is that when I put your personal library into other titles, the other videos, or it just doesn't get it doesn't do anything. So again, it's almost false advertising.
My best video, my best producing video, whatever, is a Westerns you need to read, and it's just like it's over 3,000 now, you know, and I think my thumbnail, I put some pictures from the video game Red Dead Redemption. I've got me in like a cowboy outfit, then you've got Westerns, and I think it just appeals to all kinds of people that way.
If you try to duplicate that, you probably won't be able to.
Yeah, no, because I've done other Western videos and they don't produce as well as that.
But I mean, you could put the exact same title and a thumbnail that's very similar, and it still probably won't do it. And
it's funny what Mark said about reading out loud. I read my story from the Garbology, and I don't think it's even broken 200 views because doesn't do well at all. But yeah, you're right, Sean. Like if I did another one with the same stuff, like it wouldn't do as well. I don't know why that one does.
I just want to jump into the comments because I'm getting behind, and there's quite some big ones, but it's related. So hold your thoughts, Sean. I had that buying followers email as well, as all people offer me things. Like I recently had an email from someone claiming to represent a jewelry firm offering to sponsor me. I'd love to see Aaron turn up with like a little tiara and, you know, some diamonds. Yeah, exactly. Do it.
That happens on my Instagram. I keep getting people wanting to sponsor me, which has nothing to do with my channel. I just mark it as spam.
Yeah. Sean and Steve today. I'm getting confused. My goodness. Must be the abs. If you're pretty almost always positive and maintain an active presence on TikTok, the algorithm will fawn on you.
Yeah, I agree.
And then in the next breath, Mark, it can't possibly be only aesthetics, or I myself will be out in the wilderness. I didn't mean only aesthetics. I meant also, you know, things such as the way you present your video. I didn't really mean naturally how you look, of course.
Well, unlike three of us, Steve actually has interesting things to say in his videos. I'm just joking, guys. But no, he's very engaging as a talker, and he covers all kinds of stuff, and people tune into him, and you know he can engage people that way.
Yeah, I mean I agree, but I also think I don't think we're that bad either.
No,
as a group. I think if more people would watch it, they'd probably enjoy it. But the fact is, we haven't got the basis to draw in. I mean, we've done well today. I mean, 28, we've been sitting at 27 now. That's good for us. That's really good.
Yeah.
I doubt Steve would get out of bed for that. You know, so, but no. Well, I don't know. You've got that 8-pack, Steve. That's probably what attracts most people. Hey, Karen, good to see you. Some of us followers can't remember what we were watching yesterday. Well, I understand that. Summer, if thumbnails and titles have importance, then I'm doomed.
Oh.
And Steve, my Trollop read alouds don't get steadily declining views because 1, I make it lots of fun. 2, I recap the story every time. And 3, Trollop rules. All right, if you say so. But I bet they get much less views than your normal videos. So, yeah.
But then again, I think he's had a point where he has so many subscribers that they are the ones there who want to listen to that. You know what I mean? You know, like it's not. He's got so many subscribers that he's got a good chunk of them who are going to just tune in to listen to him to do that.
How many times have either of you sort of scanned through comments on an ex person's video, and they'll say at times, "I only watch you. I don't care about anybody else, and I only watch you." You know, I don't. You know. Whoever you're looking at.
We're in the stalker territory then, Sean. That's a little creepy.
But people
have you ever had a BookTube stalker?
Me? No.
Oh, you haven't been on long enough.
Oh, I've had people that are potentially, I think. Because especially when they keep making references to something of your looks or something like that in a positive way, you kind of wonder, okay.
Oh, only my wife when she comes on.
Hey, sexy, how's it doing? How you doing? So, yeah. So, I don't know, Steve. I'm sorry. I had to be a bit of an anorak about this, and I'm looking at your channel while I'm saying this. So, okay, steadily declining. Actually, yes. To be honest, we can see like it's going down from, you have 477 views 8 days ago. The next one has 278 views, and then down to 242. And then the most recent one has 136. So I would say that is declining, you know. That's just my pointing it out, because I agree, you are fun, you are good, and I enjoy that kind of thing too. But I just think people, I think people tune out or have things to do, you know, I don't know. But
I think that's more of a problem with channels that maybe are under 50,000. Once you get to a certain, there's my wife right there.
All right.
There, see, that's my stalker. She's my stalker right there.
I would say you want a charming comment, but then you kind of ruined it by saying it was your wife.
So I should have just played dumb.
What a great comment, though. I like that.
She's good that way.
Good.
I hope she's at work. Actually, get back to work.
Yeah, stop slacking.
Yeah.
You've got to keep Jim into the style to which he's become accustomed. So come on.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going book shopping tomorrow. So,
yes.
Yeah. A weird thing about the reading stuff, I used to do that on the channel very badly. And then it started even getting worse because of the long COVID. But there's still a couple that I've done of reading essays that still get views, which is really, really weird. So it has nothing to do with how bad I am or how good I am. So
I mean, I sometimes get the comment from Pride and Prejudice, you know, years later, still saying, you know, oh, that's good. You know, I enjoyed listening to that. Thank you. But do you think this is an interesting thing? And I don't want to name anybody. And, you know, I love the person completely. Maybe it's something I should have kept till after the live. But do you think some things should not be read by some people with some accents, like that don't fit? So imagine, you know, no reference to anybody, but I don't know, imagine you're from deepest, darkest Alabama and you're going to read I don't know, the poetry of who Elizabeth Barrett Browning, for example, right? Does it not sound weird to you sometimes when you listen to that poetry and it's in such an accent that doesn't fit with it?
And thinking about it, yeah, that would be a little startling.
Well, saying out of it, they're on Instagram. There's a young woman that I see all the time for some reason that comes up. I don't follow her, but she lives in the I'm not sure where it is in the Appalachians, but she has this very strong Appalachian accent, and then she does these things, strange things like Appalachian word of the day, which are kind of funny. But she did something that she thinks that Shakespeare sounds better in an Appalachian accent. So she does this, and it just sounds so funny. But like apparently, like it was one of her biggest videos because people think it's great and they want her to do more.
Yeah, that's like Chekhov in Star Trek reading the Shakespeare in the original Russian.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get through these comments here. So once the channel gets over, say, 7,000 subs, it starts to get swarmed with bots. I bet fully half of all subscribers to me, MKB, or Ollie are bots.
Oh, really?
I promise I'm a friendly bot, says Jenny. Jenny is the bot queen. Resistance is futile. Bot queen, gutter queen. Just keeping myself busy.
Jenny's everywhere. She's ubiquitous, Jenny.
But Mark, look back on the Trollope read aloud. Yeah, sorry, Steve, I didn't mean to I'm sure it does, and people do enjoy it, definitely.
Yeah.
I wasn't being.
I would love to read more.
I assumed, from experience that generally it kind of tapers off, but yeah, maybe of course you're different. So I need to try this mysterious Trollope. Mark, you're talking about me, aren't you, Scamp? That does it. I'm reading my next Trollope in a South Boston accent. Yes, I've been enjoying Randy Ray, the literate text, and reading Shakespeare's sonnets in the original text. Well, to be fair, I was kind of thinking about our friend Lord Byron from Dallas when I made that analogy. But I love it, but it's just such a weird sensation because I could never imagine, Byron speaking with a Texas drawl. But you never know. Can you do it dressed as a Boston gangster too, Steve? Phonetically, Shakespeare almost certainly really did sound closer to Appalachia than to virtually any regional accent in England today. Hello, Mark. I hope you're doing great, my friend. Enjoying this live. Great work, guys. Well, thank you very much. It's very nice of you.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I suppose it'd be like me trying to read, what? Mark Twain? No. Tom Sawyer, maybe aloud. Could I do that in an English accent?
British accent always makes things classier. It's never a problem. Never a problem. You can read anything, and it's fine. It's fine.
No, what I want to hear is Randy Ray read Train Spotting.
Yeah.
Or somebody with a really strong Southern accent reading Train Spotting. That would be cool.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just very interesting, I think, these different accents. I think it was actually Steve. Steve, we did it when we did Dracula, I think. Do you remember? And I think it was Micah Cummins had to do some chapter in Dracula that was all Cockney or Cockneyfied, the way Bram Stoker had written it, and it was challenging. It was challenging. Jim, you should do a 20-minute comprehensive primer to hard-boiled mysteries, what they are, what they aren't, and then finish up with a top 10.
Oh, I've been wanting to do a top 10, and I'll probably do one eventually. That's a great idea. I'd love to do that. It's something I've wanted to do. Like, I don't know if you guys saw my Raymond Chandler video, and that's kind of, I want to do more like that and really do a deep dive into like hard-boiled mysteries. And I've got tons of like short story anthologies, mystery anthologies, which I've collected for years. And yeah, I'd love to do something like that.
And then get Steve to share it when you've done it. So there you go.
I don't even think I have the confidence, though. It's something I want to do. I just have to work up towards. It's funny you say that, though, Mark, because I think we were talking earlier about, bigger booktubers sharing smaller booktubers or mentioning them. And I think that makes a big difference because I think maybe Steve mentioning me on his channel, and that's when I started getting a lot of subscribers. And that does help. That's a huge help.
For sure. I got loads from Steve back in the day. It's true. But there does come a point that even though Steve grows, the point where you are known, and as I believe really, that those people are not going to subscribe to you now because they know who you are and they would have done already. You know what I mean? I think I got a couple of hundred even. I don't remember. I shot up just like after Steve mentioned me back when I was really quite new.
Yeah.
But as I say, I think you get mentioned or you're in enough events that you think you would be, known enough around the certain community where if they were, if Criminoli mentioned us, I don't know. For example, I don't know if we would even reap anything from you. You maybe, Jim, because you've been around a bit less.
Maybe.
Well, and also too, you read stuff that Criminoli sort of does. I don't read anything pretty well that Criminoli.
What do I read that Criminoli reads?
What?
What do I read? Oh, you mean Jim?
No, Criminoli. So if Criminoli says to suggest me, his followers who want to hear stuff like he reads aren't going to find it with me. They're not going to follow me.
Yeah. I think he was talking about me, Mark, about the stuff I read that's similar to what Criminali reads.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
yeah,
so him,
Ed McBain and crime stuff.
My sentence.
Yeah,
because
sorry, I thought you were directing it at me, and I was thinking, do I?
No, it's like you as well. Like you probably won't because you don't read stuff that Criminali does, but Jim does. So therefore, people will find a crossover there. But they won't find a crossover with me unless they like.
We don't read garbage.
I didn't say that.
But sci-fi, Sean, sci-fi is big on YouTube. You do a lot of sci-fi stuff.
Yeah,
and sci-fi is like huge.
Yeah, but nobody seems to be interested in what I have to say for it. They listen to other people who, well, okay, I won't say any more about that. But yeah, they don't come to me for science fiction.
It's like a magical potion, man. I mean, you don't know what works and what doesn't work, and you can throw something against the wall, see what sticks, and if that doesn't work, try something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been doing that for 5 years.
Yeah,
that's where I got kind of tired of doing it, so that's why I'm just not even trying anymore. I'm just doing stuff that I find interesting.
When I first started, I actually emailed Criminali right in his comments or whatever, and he said, have an intro, have a good name for the channel, and a couple other things.
You do have a great name, though, Jim.
That's why I did that. I want a good name. I want an intro to lead into the video, and I think that works. Have a good thumbnail, and I don't know. I don't know if that had anything to do with subscriber count or what. I don't know, but I don't know. That's more. Hey,
maybe you have to post more
and post more too. Yeah, maybe you should post more.
Yeah, maybe Sean, you could start a new channel. See what happens. You don't lose anything.
Nothing will happen.
You can just flip backwards and forwards between the two. You could start a dedicated channel without your name, and see if you can build that up as well. You're going to lose the subscribers you've got.
I don't have the energy to do that. I just don't have the energy to do that. I could barely keep up with what I'm doing now and stay.
What if you were to focus on one genre, like focus on all, like you sent me the links for all your pulps, all the old science fiction pulps and stuff, the adventure pulps, and focus. Maybe you should focus on that stuff, and then you're going to get all those people watching your channel, and then maybe it'll just be like a snowball rolling downhill.
Maybe that's the thing, is to find your niche, Sean. Like
find a niche,
one thing.
Yeah, well, I've tried for 5 years, you
haven't. You've been doing,
Yeah, because I try the different things, and none of them even sparks. Like none of them even begin to take off. So therefore, I just don't even bother anymore.
Get a niche, change your channel name, and off you go. So, anyway, I want to go to the comments. So, how dare you, Mark? Garbage is great fun. Actually, I do really want to do the snob tag, because I think I'm going to be a really honest person, and go, hello, peasants. I'm here to.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that tag. I don't do tags, and I should do tags. People keep tagging me, and that one looks good.
Yeah. Where are we? Dracula, you, me, and the long lost Mike are coming to desert us for real. Yeah, I haven't seen him around. Is he not still doing it? I haven't seen that other woman he was doing. Is she still around? The woman he had the book club with from Belgium.
I don't know.
Oh. Jim, you should preface your primer by reading the entirety of The Simple Art of Murder. A video like that would explode.
I love that.
Hopefully, literally. Oh my God! Could we arrange literally? Think of the views. Pay-per-view.
I love that essay, Raymond Chandler's essay.
How did Jack Edwards get so popular? Then is it just? Yeah, I've heard about him. I don't think I've ever watched any of his videos though. Exactly, Jack Edwards caught the all-important demographic of teen girls and suddenly had 1 million subs, just like Charlie is so cool, like before him.
Charlie.
Yeah. And Amy's here. Hi, Amy. Good to see you. Well, why aren't we attracting, well, maybe we are attracting the middle-aged girls. Probably. I don't know.
Well, if you look,
blind ones who like the voices.
See, if I look at the graph,
my wife is listening.
If I look at the things on my
the information, the demographics, the gender,
and there is between 35 and 45. There's like a very small percentage. It's all over 45, and 90% of my viewers, or 93% usually, are male. And that's where mine's.
I don't look at my analytics too much. Just I don't ever go in there and look at it too much.
Yeah,
so
it's interesting to see because like I say, because when I look at where my stuff is suggested, that explains a heck of a lot.
Yeah. And trust me, the Follicle Follies aren't attracting any amorous teen girls.
Well, Mark doesn't have to worry about that. He's got a good head of hair, Mark.
Oh, well, I think
it's a little envious, to be honest.
And to be honest, if I started attracting teenage girls, I'd probably lose my job. So, I have to keep myself this way to remain unattractive on purpose. So, that's right. Anne Novella. That's right. So she has disappeared. So maybe they ran off together, her and Micah. They both disappeared.
YouTube love story, BookTube love story.
You never know. I wonder if there are that many BookTube love stories. Any couples got together through BookTubing.
Oh, it's possible.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting.
It would be. Yeah.
Well, we know Steve has got together with loads of people since doing BookTube. Jack Edwards is dreamy. He's cute, soft, and inoffensive, like a plush toy. Perfect for the algorithm.
Jack Edwards, is he? I don't know if I know him or not.
I'm looking him up.
Well, all it takes is like watching it for 3 minutes.
Oh, well, I mean, if you like that kind of
Mr.
thing.
Dreamy.
Well, if you like that kind of thing, he looks a bit wimpy to me, but
yeah.
YouTube's resident librarian. Business inquiries. I mean, why is he saying he's YouTube's resident librarian? What does he mean? He's got 1.47 million subscribers, though, so he's obviously doing something right.
Really? Okay, I got to look this guy up.
Yeah, but I'm looking at all the stuff he's talking about. Come on. I wouldn't read any of this.
4 million subscribers, you said.
1.4.
Oh, 1.4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know this kid. Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him before. He just moved. He did a video where he moved all his bookshelves. That's nice bookshelves there behind him. See, I'm admiring the bookshelves, not necessarily the dreamboat that he is.
Yeah. Oh, I see. He also did the reacting to 1-star reviews, of course. There's nothing original on BookTube, though. At the end of the day, it's all been done before.
Yeah.
25 facts about me, Jack Edwards.
Well, what I always love is where you do a video and you realize that nobody's really talked about this book or author before, and it just falls flat. And then 6 months or a year later, somebody else does the same book and says nobody's done this before, and they get thousands of views on it. And it's like,
that's why I started doing like mystery. Like I like mystery, and my hard-boiled stuff. But Michael K. Vaughan was doing Robert E. Howard and Edgar Rice Burroughs. And for me, that probably would have been my first choice. But when you go on BookTube, everybody's doing that. Everybody's doing Conan and Robert E. Howard and Edgar Rice Burroughs. I said, well, I'm not going to do that because then I'm just lost in the crowd. So I figured I don't see a lot of people doing vintage mysteries. Raymond Chandler and Mickey Spillane and Ross McDonald. And okay, that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be my niche. And that's going into it. That's what I said to myself. That's what I'm going to do.
See, that's weird because that's all I see is vintage mystery stuff. And that's weird because that's what I mean. You only see what YouTube wants you to see.
Huh.
Oh, that's getting a bit deep into it.
Well, I'm exaggerating a bit, but I think it's a part of it. It's like they're creating an echo chamber for you because you see things, and because I see a lot of that. Like going down my feed, I'm not subscribers, but I see lots of stuff about vintage mysteries. I don't see hardly anything about vintage science fiction.
But that's all I see.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
I see all kinds of science fiction coming into it. I didn't see a lot of mystery. That's why I chose to. Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. And like right now, like I think I've got the niche on Clifford Simak, but it's it hardly sees anything. Nobody watches these.
But that's probably a little bit too niche, isn't it?
Yeah, but watch this. All it'll take is some other booktuber, which all of a sudden will do it, and all of a sudden, oh, this is a revelation. Nobody's talked about Clifford Simak on YouTube before.
Oh boy,
I can see this happening.
Well, I honestly thought I was going to be the oldest person on BookTube, and obviously I'm not. You know, when I first joined, as I said, because everybody looked so young. You just didn't see it. You know, people like us didn't pop up.
Yeah.
You know, I did because I never watched it. I'm one of the few people who never watched BookTube before I made a channel. I just made a channel.
Yeah. And I bet people coming in now too. I bet people our age that have never watched it before will probably only see young people as well, and then think the same thing.
They're the ones that pop up.
YouTube, you only see what YouTube wants you. It's not that they want you to see it, but it's just it's everything stacked. It's all stacked.
Do you think these young, sexy influencers, when they're looking around, they just see the three of us and say, "We're going to make a killing when we go on"?
I wouldn't doubt it. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all.
So, hang on. Let me go back to the comments. So, someone says the Reading Roads were a cute couple. I don't know them. Were they a couple who met on BookTube? Were they?
Unfortunate name if you know anything about South African history.
Yeah,
Lou is such a good commenter for me. She's one of my followers. She's so good, Lou.
Yeah,
and
she is. Overly Average Ben and Grace Dion met on BookTube. I don't know those two either. I don't think.
No.
Some UK publication called him the internet's resident librarian. It flattered his ego so much that he's adopted it. It's hilarious since he's an extremely timid, lightweight, narrow-range reader. Aaron Jack Edwards is the BookTube equivalent of a pop star created by X Factor or American Idol.
Yeah.
Jen,
fair.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, I just said fair. I said that's fair. Yeah.
You could chew him up and spit him out, Steve. You probably be unfortunate choice of phrases there, Jenny. You probably read more books in a year than he's read in his life. Well, I've read more than he does, certainly, but he makes $20,000 a week. $20,000 a week.
Boy.
Management team working for him to put him on TV, so it balances us out. He's on television as well. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Look up Jack Edwards, and I don't see the appeal. I must be old because he looks like a kid. Yeah, he does. Yeah. You stick with us. I'm gonna stick with the oldies. So. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen his videos, but I never felt prompted to subscribe to his channel.
There's that other one, though. Who's that other one who talks a lot about classics? And I mean, he's not got millions. He's probably got couple of 100,000. I always see him on there.
The redhead dude with the blue eyes?
I don't know. He's fair, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So many. There's so many.
Well, because like
younger people out there.
That's the one. I think that's the one. Yeah.
James, that's what I was thinking. I think. Yeah.
Isn't that an actor?
Yes, but I think it's also he sometimes pops up, and I'm like.
Like it's funny when you see these young booktubers that are there's some that are like 16 or 17 years old that are doing this, and they'll do things like videos of the best classic books ever written, you know, and they'll say it's in their opinion, and they'll say, I've read 100 classic books, and they're very proud of this. But they're only 16 or 17. That's great. But and then it's funny. You look at the comments, and it's invariably 40 or 50-year-old men saying, "Oh, you're such an inspiration," and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going,
Well,
"Yeah, right."
I'm just worried more and more now with artificial intelligence, how many people can pretend to have read these classics, and they will for views, for whatever, without having actually even touched on them. You know. Apparently, James McAvoy does so much behind a paywall.
I think there's a lot of that going on, Mark, where they feature a book which they'd never read, but they just pretend that they've read it just for something to put up for the sake of the views.
Well, they might have to, because they have to, they have to make. See, this is what I was finding, that my videos trailed off when my reading slumped because I didn't have anything to make a video about if I wasn't reading.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't just lie. It's part of the reason I went and started the Books That Made Me, is because it was content of books I've read, albeit 40 years ago. But, if you don't read, you can't put out. So how these youngsters are, reading 100 books or whatever, as Sean says, I don't get it.
That's why I do a book haul video there, easy. Like I told you, I had a couple books I was reading, and I held off on the video because I haven't finished reading them yet.
I got one coming next week, so
just did a book haul video.
Well, the other thing is that you don't need AI to do this, because there's been collections of books. So you could buy a 20-volume set. I forget who the editor has put this together, and it's basically I forget how many thousand books of literature. It's like they're basically a page a summary of the book, and you could buy these for like pennies. So this stuff has been out there for a long time.
Steve recommended. He didn't recommend it at all, but he mentioned some kind of when he was doing. I think it was because I do really enjoy Steve's Dude Bro videos. They do make me laugh, even though I don't know half the people he references. But I think Steve once mentioned there's like an app you can do that.
Oh yeah. Well, there's also now
it pretends that it's actually like you are reading the book, but it sells it on the point that, hey, you don't have to be a muppet and actually read the whole book, because we'll give you everything. I'm thinking the whole joy is in reading the book.
There's a whole bunch of those. Because there's ones that I've seen where the woman holds the book up under the camera of the phone, and it just gives her a 3-minute summary of the book, so she doesn't have to read it.
Yeah. It is Ben McAvoy, Jenny. Sorry, it is. You're right. James McAvoy is the actor, but it's Ben McAvoy, the booktuber. That's always my challenge when it
got a good point.
Watch one of his videos and then try to imagine him actually sitting quietly and reading. I mean,
do these people actually read these books? I can't picture them sitting there reading these books and then doing their.
This is what I've seen Steve mention when he's talked about these people. Yeah. Why would you do it? It's just,
Wow.
Well, the other thing that I love too is when you see somebody who doesn't pretend that they've read the books, but they'll do these things of saying the best books of X, and say the best time travel books, and they'll mention 10 or 15, and they'll even say throughout it that they've never read any of them or only read 1 or 2, and I'm going,
yeah.
Excuse me?
Well, I have to say, Sean, before I got to know you, I had my suspicions of you when I was watching, like, from the background at first. And it seemed every time a book came up, Sean was like, yeah, it's a reread for me. I'm thinking, that's impossible, surely. But, of course, as I know him more and more, I realize, it's very likely true, of course.
Well, like, I don't know how. Like, I've spent my life reading books, watching movies. Like, I've probably seen almost every sort of pre-1962 science fiction movie that's out there, and if I could actually find one that I haven't seen, in English, then I'm actually happy. So it's like, I don't know how I've spent all this time and actually breathed and lived.
And people read at different speeds too, And
I've never been a fast reader. Steve reads very fast.
Blink list all the way. Yeah, Sean was blink listing before it was a thing, right?
Yeah, I just
you don't see the rest of my library where I've got this huge library of books that summarizes every book that there's ever been done in like a paragraph.
That's it. That's all it is, right? It's the entire world's literary output in each book reader. But actually, I think the only time you've been caught out was on your own memory. Was when I think you were saying, yeah, it's a reread for me. And then I can't remember what it was. And you're like, I don't think I've read this one before. It was like, it was probably so long ago. I'm sure I read it, but it was probably back in like 1972. I was, 5 years old or whatever. And it's the only time I think where it was.
I reread 8 Million Ways to Die a while back, and it's my third reread. But you think I could remember who the villain was at the end? It was a surprise to me because I totally forgot. It was in the 90s when I read it last.
And I wrote myself.
Simak for Dummies.
Hey, you could write a book about Simak. That's what you should do that.
There's something in the works.
Yeah,
that way.
That would be awesome.
He has a video how to read Ovid's Metamorphoses. I'm going to assume one the same as you read anything. I'm not sure it's Sean who has a video of.
How to read a book or something like that. And I had.
Oh no, it's that Ben McAvoy. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did this one, like, what is it, 20-second video of how to read a book. You open up the cover, you start, you get to the end, you finish.
The thing is, I don't know. I think there's loads of books Sean hasn't read. They've all been published in like the last 20 years.
Well, the thing is, I was going to say, Jim would wipe me with the floor on like classic mysteries, because I've only started reading a lot of classic mysteries in the past decade or so. And I've done a lot. So there's a lot that I haven't read. There's a few authors that I've sampled, but that's an area that I am not well read. I'm not well read at all in romance, period. And there's other areas that I'm not.
I've only recently started reading like cozy mysteries, and the video I did today that I haven't uploaded, I mentioned that too. Like when I was young, I wouldn't have gone near a cozy mystery, but now as I'm older, like there's something almost kind of comforting about, a world where there's a little less chaos and the order is maintained at the end of the novel. I kind of like that. And I'm reading more cozy mysteries now than I did when I was younger. I needed dark and brutal and hard-boiled when I was younger, I still do, but cozy mysteries, I've kind of added it to my reading, and I'm glad.
Very well read in urology books, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to go soon, chat.
Well,
I want Sean to answer Ariane's question. It might be the one that Jenny's alluding to, or it might not be. But
yes, it is. Clarissa.
Sean's White Whale.
Clarissa by
Samuel Richardson.
Is that the one Farah just read?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Big book.
Because when I first read it, I had to stop reading it because I got shingles the first time.
Oh, boy.
Second time I started reading it, I stopped reading it because I got shingles the second time. And the third time I started reading it, I think it's the third time, I was evicted. I got evicted from my place last
boy.
So
who knew that shingles would F your reading up so badly?
Yeah. So it's like, do I dare try it a fourth time?
Oh boy.
And I've enjoyed it. What I've read.
The universe is trying to tell you something, Sean. Maybe you just gotta let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, great blurb. Yeah. Caution. This may give you shingles. Yeah. Oh dear. All right. Well, I think we'll finish up there, gents. Thank you so much for coming on and joining me on this chat. It's been fascinating. Thank you also to everybody who was watching and to those of you as well who commented. And I don't know if Steve's going to do a live later. If he is, maybe go check it out. And do check out Sean's lives tomorrow. Jim, you have a new video coming out tomorrow?
Probably have it uploaded by tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. So check out Jim's channel as well for that new video. I probably won't have anything new this weekend. I might do a live Sunday morning if Sean's up for it, if he hasn't got shingles or something.
Well, and there's Sunday evening, Desert Island Books.
And then Sunday evening,
Roy reads anything.
Right.
Oh, Roy, nice. Oh, yeah. Good.
And there's somebody here that will be on next month as well.
Well, I could spoil it by saying I know which one of us it isn't. So,
yeah,
well, I'm definitely going to be doing it. So,
yeah. Well, we just have a quick comment here, which is nice to put up because it's someone we haven't seen for a very long time. Oh, sorry, not Greg, but Yuri, not Yuri. Hello, honorable sexy YouTube influencers. Long time no see. Have you really read all your books, Sean? Even the one on the history on underwater cables?
No, I haven't read every book that I have here because that's the one thing that when I came to England and I started buying books again, I generally was buying books that I haven't read.
Yeah.
And then I got stuck rereading stuff that I have read.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't. I don't even know where that one is. Yeah, I've got a pamphlet that I picked up for like 25p. It's about the Atlantic underwater cable, laying cables.
Sounds riveting.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you afterwards. So hang on, let me just go through these and I'll tell you after. It's been an enjoyable discussion. See you all further down the trail. Thanks, Greg. Jenny, you're going live today. Steve, Mick, thanks for the stream, chaps. Bye. Bye, Lou. Thanks for joining us. Steve's only got 5 videos planned for today. And
only 5. Oh, only boy.
5. There we go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Do take care, and hopefully we'll see you all again soon.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.